Hey guys, today we'll be talking about a classic movie of how hard work pays off. The film starts out with unpaid workers being carried across the cuts by two Confederates until a German stops them to ask if he can cop one of the Negroes. But the Confederates are also xenophobic, so they start making a scene, and the German is forced to turn one of them into a pack. The one that survives sells the Negro to the German, but it turns out the German is an abolitionist and lets them murk the other Confederates. So then the German and the Negro go to some town while on horses, but for some reason, the locals are strongly disgusted by the thought of melanin interacting with equestrianism, so they try to get them out of the way. So while they're waiting for 12 to show up, the German tells the Negro that he's a bounty hunter and he's looking for two Opp brothers, and says that if the Negro helps him put them on the news, then he'll free him and give him a bag. So the Negro agrees, as long as they murk 12 as well. So they do that, and then the niggas with big sticks pull up to press them, but the German tells him that the 12 he smoked was actually a criminal, so it's okay. After this, the heroes piss off, and the Negro tells the German that he wants to find his wife that was sold separately from him. So they go to some weirdo's plantation to find the opps that separated him and his wife, and when they get there, they smoke in a few packs and get away with it, because the German proves that they were lowlifes. So the weirdo plantation owner feels himself away, and he has all his guys dressed up as ghosts to murk the heroes, but luckily the heroes start ahead and hide in the bush while they get all of them out of the way. After this adventure, the Negro is now officially free, and the German offers to help him find his wife if he helps the German put more criminals on his shirts. Over the winter, the German trains the Negro in the arts of murking niggas, and they go to a house where he gets one guy out of the way in front of his kid, cause you know he had it coming. After this, they meet some slave owner that has the Negro's wife, so the German decides to possess someone trying to buy one of his fighter slaves, while the Negro is his associates. Then they see two niggas fight to the grave, and for all you niggas that watch this movie, judging this type of stuff never actually happened. Like, Negroes costed a lot of money back then. Why would they casually get put on a shirt by each other for no reason? Like, really think about it. But anyway, while watching this nonsense, the Negro disrespects the slave owner and all his companions, but the owner doesn't really care. Then they come across an unpaid boxing employee who doesn't wish to renew his working contract. As a result, he's put on the paper. After this, they meet the slave owner's sister and some op nigga, who like one of the first towns is in his feelings because the Negro's on a horse. Then they get in the house, and the German tells the Negro's wife about their plans to help her escape. But of course, the op nigga always has to cause problems. He starts interrogating niggas like he's the feds, and he finds out that the Negro and his wife have some sort of connection. Also, the German offers to buy the Negro's wife and come back with a lawyer to cop one of the boxers. But the slave owner is feeling himself at that moment and is happily ready to accept the offer. But then the op nigga ruins everything and pulls him aside to tell him that the main characters are just trying to scam him. Then the slave owner gets all pissy that they tried to run a game on him, so he ups the price on the Negro's wife to a super high amount and tells them that if they don't pay up, then he's gonna turn her into a memory. So the German pays up the funds and then disses the slave owner, and right before they leave, the slave owner says he won't accept the transaction unless the German shakes his hand. Because the German is an honorable man and will not dare touch scum like the slave owner, he turns him into a pack instead. But then unfortunately, the most likable character himself gets put in a shirt by one of the slave owner's henchmen. And then there's some long gunfights and some bum keeps getting shots. At the end, the op nigga captures the Negro's wife, which forces the Negro to surrender and get tortured by all the opps. Then one weirdo tries to cut his dick off, but then the op nigga pulls up and says that's cancelled, and instead, the Negro is going to be an unpaid worker in the mines, which is like the worst position of them all. So while the Negro's on his way to the mines, he tells the transporters that he's a bounty hunter, and has his bounty notice prove it. Then all the other Negros confirm it, and they let him free. Then he murks them and frees the other slaves. Then he finds the opps that put that one unpaid boxer on his shirt, and what's up the block on them. Somehow he sneaks back into the slave owner's house and frees his wife, and then a bunch of white people show up and he gets them out of the way. Then that Negro puts that fuck ass op nigga in his blunt and rides off with his wife. A great end to a great story. Overall, this movie was pretty good. As you may have noticed, this video was somewhat shorter than the other ones, but that's because this movie was kinda more on the comedic side, so not much happened in the actual plot as in a lot of other movies. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and also look forward to the stuff that's coming after this.